Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. This week, Pike and Tyler try to measure up, but it doesn't matter when an angry butt plug probe with tentacles tries to kill the shuttlecraft. Tilly puts time in front of everything cool, and it's all fun and games until someone gets blasted in the eye by future data. And we learn the security risk behind identical coffee cups.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to Starfleet Underground, where the warp core is always online, plus because we need it for the food replicator. The show is brought to you by Section 31. Why they keep financing us, we really don't know. They're kind of mad at me because I didn't mention that the last episode. They gave me quite a stern look and told me that they were going to send Georgio. As much as I would like that, no. So we have one guest today. First off, my name is Nathan, if you guys don't know who I am. And I'm captain
who are
of
you
this
again?
Vessel. Nathan, wait, where's my comm badge?
Yeah, it says Nathan right there. Okay.
Yeah, it does, right on the back. Okay, cool. All right, so you have me here, and we have Heather.
Hello, good to see ya. So, Captain, please don't drink that coffee I just gave you. That was not meant for you. Do me a favor. Don't drink it. I'll bring you another one soon.
Okay.
She's poisoning the coffee now.
Why?
If you see unicorns and rainbows, it's not you.
It's got coffee. It's got unicorns in the coffee.
I shouldn't have.
No, it's unicorn jizz in the coffee.
I was experimenting with the mycelium network.
So that's what they mean when she sang that old Earth song, "There's clouds in my coffee."
Yep.
All right. We have. Wait, I can see sound.
It's okay.
Hello.
It's going to be fine. Just don't freak out. Whatever you do, it'll be fine.
Wait until you read a book. All of the letters are colors.
Okay. We have Patrick.
Hello. Good to see everyone again.
And then we have our guest. Oh, damn. What'd you put in this? David, introduce yourself. Tell us what you're about.
Hello, I'm Dave. I've been a listener for a while now. I love Star Trek. Period. Can I drop my mic?
Yeah, drop the mic.
Yes.
That's the only requirement to be on the show is that you love Star Trek.
Yes. And
I want his coffee.
Damn, he already drank it.
If anybody tells you to taste the rainbow, just ignore them.
Oh yeah, we have Rocky. So how's it going? How's Adrian? No, not that type of
not
Rocky.
Different Rocky.
Damn it.
Yeah, no, I don't know no Adrian. I like Stallone though. Stallone's got some cool moves, you know. The warp drive is humming along really good today, and considering the amount of magic smoke I let out of it, just a teeny bit, because I crossed one little thing just for a second. There's a little bit of smoke, but it's fine. It's working just fine. It takes a licking and keeps on sticking or whatever.
It's okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
The lights may have fluttered a little bit, but we're good.
The smoke clouds look like rainbows.
Yes.
Did I introduce Heather already?
Yes, you did, crackhead.
Wait. Hold on. Computer, antidote, please.
We need to beam him from one place to another so that we can get whatever is in his system out of him and use a biometric filter.
Computer, antidote, please.
Yeah, this wasn't supposed to happen during the morning meeting.
And it's got to be quick because I see a whole bunch of baby Yodas dancing in front of me now. And that's even the wrong genre.
Now you know where that song came from.
Now we've crossed streams.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, we are going to do what are we going to do? Wait a minute, computer's making the replica. Thank you. Who's got news today?
I do.
And what is your news?
So CBS announced that in support of Black Lives Matter, they did a hashtag Star Trek United, and it would include 15 episodes that were described as culturally relevant that you could stream free on CBS.com. And for every tweet that you used, or that you did, everything that you tweeted using the hashtag StarTrekUnitedGives, they would make a donation of $1 to Black Lives Matter, Black Strategy Fund, Movement for Black Lives. And then the marathon included episodes from the original series, Next Gen, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Discovery, and Picard. So, I mean, I can list them off if you want.
I think they can research giving that. So that's good info, though. And I'm glad that they're doing that. Everyone should be embracing IDIC. You have any news for us, Heather?
Yeah, I do. So Star Trek Discovery Season 3, the post-production team has given an update. They said that they are working as best and as fast as they can. Post-production on the third season of Discovery ended up wrapping up around February. And this was only a few weeks before the film and TV production. Everything was shut down in both Canada and Hollywood. So the post-production team has been underway. They've been trying to do all of the editing remotely. And one of the editors just tweeted the other day that it was their last day of editing on Star Trek Discovery Season 3. So hopefully we will be having that sometime in the next few months, hopefully.
There's a lot that goes into editing a television production, especially one that worldwide release. You know, you've got to dub it in all the languages and get all the subtitles done in the right languages. And
Ferengi is hard to dub, man, I'm telling you.
Totally.
Yeah. And what would it be like for one person editing like one video? It'd take like, what, a week or two?
Oh, who knows? I mean, I'm not a captioner person, so they got to caption it. They probably have it already translated from the script, but they got to make sure the captions go in the right place. And then it was like, oh, now we need it in Klingon. So then they got to put it in Klingon, and then you got to go back and say, well, what's the word for tachyon in Klingon, and look that up and translate it. You know, it's quite a process.
Yeah.
And for people, if they're dubbing it, it requires even more because you got to have the dub artist to try to match up. It doesn't always successful as anyone who watched the old martial art movies to try to match the words to the lips. So they actually try to make sure that when the person's lips are moving, that it's actually matching the words they're saying in a different language.
Right.
So that makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's moving along.
And apparently from this article, all the actors were doing ADR remotely at home, like they were all doing it at home. So I guess it normally requires a special setup. So of course it takes a little bit longer because people don't have the right setup and then they have to redo it and that kind of a thing.
Oh yeah, it's all the acoustics, so you got to take into account. I would imagine if I were the guy doing it, I'd get what they call a whisper room. It's just basically a giant box that they design for voiceover people. And it's like you build in a closet. It's like a phone booth. It's like a phone booth. That's the wrong show. But yeah, it's your own ISO booth, and you 4 walls and a ceiling and a door and everything. And you stick a microphone in, and it's acoustically good enough to do voiceover work in. So I imagine they'd probably just ship one of those back and forth.
No, they'd probably just have them, do the voiceover work in the closet, just like radio people.
But nobody likes being in a closet.
I prefer doing it under the sleeping bag. I got good acoustics. I took care of my bounce back. I had a sleeping bag set up behind me. That worked pretty good.
Patrick, but the party you have when you come out of the closet, it's so much fun.
Yeah, but the process of coming out of the closet is way more difficult than you would imagine.
I'm going totally off topic here. Have you ever seen South Park where Tom Cruise comes out of the closet?
Did he ever come out of the closet?
Oh,
that was
God.
a funny episode. Everybody kept going into the closet to try to get him out of the closet.
They sent R. Kelly over to get him, right?
It was so funny.
To sing the song.
So funny.
Yeah, Tom Cruise was too old for R. Kelly, though.
Yes. South Park doesn't care. They go after everybody.
Oh, yeah, I love them. So anyway, so Discovery Season 3, they're still working in progress, and the release date is to be announced. So that is my news.
Outstanding. Okay. Do you have any news, Rocky?
Well, I was looking at, they got a couple more images released for the lower decks, and they're talking about some characters from Next Generation may be making an appearance on that show.
Oh, how cool.
So the characters in Next Gen, it's wide open. So if you saw them in Next Gen, totally possible you might see them in lower decks. That blows my mind. Yeah, like Barclay or Q or who knows who could be showing up into that. Could be very cool. I can't wait for that show to come out.
Maybe even Vorik, Lieutenant Vorik.
Dude, I will die if I see Edward.
So, he should have been gone.
No, Edward got a triple enema. He's dead.
Yeah. It would have to be the son of Edward.
Yeah.
He's riding the triple wave.
Now, Dave, even though you're a guest, you bring stuff with you, I assume, from the Alpha Quadrant. You have any news for us yourself?
Not much. Just things over here been pretty slow in finding a new job.
I'm familiar with that situation. A lot of people going through that in the world.
Well, I want to thank you also for letting us grab you. It's not often we can do a time loop slingshot into the past and pick somebody up. So if you hear any future news on there, we're going to be checking the records to make sure that you didn't become filthy rich. That you did some historical research and then did some investments. Okay. So plus, it wouldn't be a good idea to let everyone know that you wind up becoming a multi-million. Oh, never mind. Don't bring that up. A little bit of news I have for everybody. If you have IMDb TV, all 8 Star Trek movies are coming there with the free streaming premiere of Star Trek Beyond, which is happening now. So you can actually watch Star Trek Beyond for free. One of the curse words the Ferengi hate is that 4-letter word free.
Yeah, word.
But it's on there on Star Trek Beyond. So you can get a chance to see that today if you have IMDb TV.
Very cool.
So I think that Antidote is beginning to work. So thanks to the replicator on that one.
Okay, so now that you've gotten a little bit straight back in your right mind, did you notice the thing going on? Yeah, only a little bit. Did you notice the thing going on this week on Twitter? The face gender swapping.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell was going on with that? And oh my God. Riker, oh my God. That's all I have to say.
I love William Shatner's response. He's like, I would do me.
Oh my God, are you serious?
He was cute. He was cute, yeah.
Oh, I love seeing Will Wheaton. And then Will Wheaton posted like that on one of his Instagram stories, and he thought it was hilarious.
It's a riot.
Who was the one that they did 7 of 9 and
Oh, yeah. 7 and 9.
Oh, my God.
That was pretty hot for a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like, I don't do that way, but I mean, it was like, that was a very handsome gentleman.
That was super hot.
I would have done that way even if I wasn't. That was like, I was like, damn, daddy.
Yeah, it was like you could be on your own movie, you know? I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, and I was going to say as a side note, one of my friends, I think you guys know him. He goes to the Star Trek convention in Las Vegas. He posted one of those where they turned him into a girl. I swear to God, I know the girl that he is. Like, I know his doppelganger girl. Like, I grew up with her. I know her really well. She's part of the family. I'm like, oh my God, you are her. Like, not even look like. I'm like, you are her. Exactly. Holy cow. That just blew my mind. I had to share that.
It's a very entertaining program for those of you who are out there. And if you want to know how to get into this wizardry, the program is called Faceapp, Faceapp. And it's on both, what was the major platforms back then? Oh, yeah, iPhone and Android. So they're there.
Now, the tech rumor is that Russia gets all of your photos if you use this app. Is that true?
Yeah, and information.
I'm worried about this, yeah.
Well, stop posting naked pictures, Rocky.
Oh, I'm not posting naked pictures of you or of me. I mean, some naked pictures are okay, but I don't want them in Russia.
Well, go ahead.
I understand people's concern on that, but if you have any type of public profile on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
oh, they got it already.
Pictures on there, they already have it.
They already have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They already scraped it, so
I can find out what I look like as a chick. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's there. And if you really want to be
pretty
a little
Rocky.
bit of,
Well, I mean, I wonder if it looks like my sister, because I know what my sister looks like. So what would I look like?
You can try it there. And also to think about it, if you go out in public at all, period, you're on camera at least a dozen times before you get to your destination. Everything from traffic camera to stores front security cameras to inside. So I understand people being upset, but it's a little late for that because it's already out there everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's that. Okay. To move on a little bit. Oh, did you have something to say, Heather? Thank God that antidote antidote worked. You were getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say I will never give you the wrong coffee again. I am so sorry about that. Oh, my God.
Whose coffee was that supposed to be for?
Rocky, I was planning on giving you like this trip this morning while you were like, doing that meeting and yeah.
Tripping, huh? Cool.
Well, I figured it would be fun during the morning, meeting to see Rocky trip out. And it just sort of, the coffees got swapped. Sorry.
Well, it was very awakening. The regular coffee, it was very, very strong, very good.
Sorry.
Well, at least we got all of that done. So that was a good thing. We're going to jump into the episodes that we were supposed to watch. Yes?
Sorry. Before we jump into the episodes, can we do a correction?
Oh, of course. I'm sorry. I skipped on that. I thought I had did it. I might have thought I did it before the antidote hit. So please, corrections.
I got a correction. So I wanted to clarify real quick. I had someone basically say to me, basically last week during the podcast when I was going on my rant about evil policemen, I just want to clarify, I was not talking about all policemen. I wasn't saying all policemen were like that. I was just anecdotally saying that the people that I knew who were policemen, this is what I knew about them. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not all bad. I mean, there are some good cops out there. I mean, there really are. I mean, good people that are out there to do the community a service. That's what they're there for. And
that's what they should be there for.
That's what they should be there for. And if there are some that are, so you can't look at all of them bad, right?
Let me make a quick correction to you, Heather. You said you meant to say anecdotally, and you said antidote-ally, which are two different things. Yeah.
Oh, I just did not spit out my water right there. That's hilarious.
Oops.
An anecdote is different than an antidote.
Oh, I was thinking of the captain's antidote, and that's what happened. Okay.
One of the things just to be aware of, it's always a dangerous thing to make a blanket statement about anything that isn't 100% verifiable. You cannot use we tend sometimes to do that as just as a species, but as a Vulcan, he would take it literally. So if you say something like all turtles are slow, the really fast ones would get pissed off because not all turtles are slow.
Especially that one that raced with Bugs Bunny. He was pretty quick.
Yeah. So you do see fast turtles. So it's just always as a word of caution to be a little bit on that.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the Star Trek short, the Discovery short. Did anyone get a chance to see that one?
Yes, it was so cute, so adorable.
It really was. I mean, you had a chance to see Michael Burnham's father in that one, even though it was an illustrated version, which was pretty cool, and how she was scared of the light at first. A
little trivia on that. In Discovery, when you see Michael's father when she's younger, that's actually played by her husband.
Oh,
in real life.
That's
the connection. I remember hearing about a connection. Like I couldn't figure out what the connection. So the voice okay, that's very cool.
Well, not the voice. I'm not talking about an animated Trek. But when Michael was younger and they showed the scenes of her and her parents.
Okay, in Discovery.
Oh, in the show, in the flashbacks.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, her father is actually her husband in real life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who's your daddy? Okay.
Right.
Ew.
And they were both on The Walking Dead together as well.
Oh, good show,
cool.
Yeah.
What was she on The Walking Dead?
Sonequa was in the show. She's the one that when Negan wanted to take her as a bargaining chip in the coffin, she took
almost
poison.
Got Negan, yeah.
Yeah, she took poison in order to try to surprise him when he came out.
No,
not
Michonne. She was one of the ones that came in when they went to the prison.
That's why. I stopped watching the show after. Okay, that's why I don't know.
Her character was Sasha Williams.
Sasha, that's what it was. Sasha.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
She was deadly with the sniper rifle.
She was so good with that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she was badass.
So that happened after the fact. But with The Girl Who Made the Stars, it basically shows about her telling story. The little girl is scared of the dark and how her father comes in and tells the story about it. And I thought it really had some cool messaging as well, if you stop to think about it, because there's light in the darkness, and the darkness was following after her, and she still has to brave the dark. And sometimes the greatest fear of the unknown is the actual fear of the unknown.
Exactly.
And she kept going through.
Your fear is oftentimes more scary than what the the actual reality is.
Right. To quote them exactly, she said, "I hate being scared." And the father said, "I wonder if you hate the idea of being scared more than you probably are scared." And then that's when he tells the daughter the story.
I just don't like being scared, but
No, it's awesome. Like, okay, you remember when we were in gray mode and we had problems with the engine, and I walked into the brake area and there was no lights. It was pitch black. And I heard what thought was like some sort of reptilian evil animal in there, because the noise is like what the is that? And then I had to use the hand light, and it was Heather chowing down on cereal. So it was a lot scarier than the reality.
Don't get in between that girl and her cereal. Oh boy.
Yeah, so it kind of frightened me.
What was she eating? Lucky Charms?
I don't know what she was eating.
Or Fruit
the
Loops?
sound. No, that was your cereal. So such on that. But it was a cute episode.
It's good to be a Fruit Loop in the world of Cheerios. I'm just saying.
The splash of color is nice.
Faux show.
Hey, David, did your parents ever tell you any bedtime stories or anything to help quell your fears when you were growing up?
No, they never did. I would have night terrors when I was younger, so they didn't know how to remedy that. So it was just me grabbing the stuffed animal back then.
Oh, that was cool. How many did you have?
Stuffed animals?
Yeah.
I had a lot.
I had a bunch myself. Did you have names for them as well?
Well, this isn't the psych word, so I don't want to get into that part.
I had dolls, I had names, and they slept on my bed in a certain area. I think I was 5 years old or whatever. And I would give my dolls my pillow, and then I would sleep at the foot of my bed. And my mom would come in, and she's like, "There's something wrong with you."
And truth be told, I still collect every once in a while stuffed animals. I still have a bunch of Beanie Babies that I would go out and buy, and they're in my truck.
Oh, cool.
Still,
nice.
I have them there, so I think that's pretty cool.
I still have stuffed dolls, too. I have one that I sleep with every night. It's like a big old teddy bear. It's I love it. And then I have probably 5 or 6 teddy bears and a couple other dolls that I have lined up.
You just have a Patrick doll.
No.
From SpongeBob, Patrick the Starfish.
Oh, okay. That one.
I thought you were talking about a sex doll of yourself.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
No.
Would you ever get a sex doll of yourself? That's just weird. That's creepy.
No.
No, it's just an android.
No, maybe for the carpool.
The Carpool Lane, yes.
And then the android, I heard. Would you buy an android doll there, David, if they were available in your century?
No, they would probably kill me. First they would go after me, and it would be saying, "Good morning, Dave." I'll be, "Oh, heck no. I know where this goes."
Yes. That's very familiar.
No, Dave, I'm sorry. I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, you don't need the Space Odyssey 2001. It's like, "Let me out of my bedroom." "I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that."
Exactly.
I'm afraid you won't be going very far without your space helmet.
It's like, seriously, what are you doing with that lube? "I'm sorry, Dave, but just let it happen." Okay, that was pretty cool. Or the episode we're going to review, unless anybody has any more information on the short, is that we're going to be talking about the episode Light and Shadows. It was season 2, episode 7, which originally broadcast on CBS All Access on February 28th, the year 2019. That was a long time ago, but it was a good episode. I thought it really was a setup for a bunch of things we had a chance to see, like Georgio and where her loyalties are, as well as we get a chance to see Pike dealing with time distortion.
Tyler.
The time stuff was awesome.
It was.
One of the main themes throughout the whole show was power struggles. There was the one between Tyler and Pike. Between Amanda and Sarek, and between Spock and his sanity. It was really a thread through all the different storylines.
Also, too, Sarek and his wife, where his wife is like, you don't own me.
That was some weird stuff right there.
Good.
I mean, they've got a long relationship at this point, but you have to imagine what it started like. I mean, it logically happened, right? And this is where we've logically progressed to. I'm like, wow, they're kind of at each other right there.
Yeah.
But she know how to get to him. She knew how to get to him using passion with logic. And that I thought was really telling about the relationship and why those two were together.
Well, if anybody knows how to push a Vulcan's buttons, it's going to be a human woman, right?
And didn't you see that, Sarek actually was showing that for Vulcan, he looked like he was having a rage fit. You could see on his face, he was a little ticked off.
He was.
Well, he did say at one point, and there was a lot of emotion in his voice. He said, "I'm not prepared to lose both our children on the same day."
That his expression on his face was really telling at that
deep
point
stuff right there for a Vulcan. Yeah.
And you could hear it. You could hear it in his voice. It was very moving for a Vulcan, for a full-blooded Vulcan to express that kind of an emotion must have been very difficult for him.
Yeah. And then also, too, we find out information about, how Michael and Spock were raised. For example, Sarek didn't know that the mom was reading Spock Alice in Wonderland. Mm-hmm. And Alice in Wonderland, I can completely understand why, Vulcans would think that was a horrible book full of chaos and despair and just horror and everything.
The thing that I liked the best about that whole Alice exchange was when Amanda said that Spock and Michael, that they were the ones who were on both sides of the looking glass. So if you can imagine a human child being raised in a Vulcan society and a half Vulcan child being raised in a Vulcan society, I mean, they literally were both the odd man out. So they've had that struggle their entire lives of being on the outside looking in.
And it really showed how Amanda, Spock's mother, and Michael's mother really there's a lot of true love, patience, and understanding there. She knew of what would happen if Vulcan took Spock and found out he had a human learning disability. And he would have been even more ostracized than what he already was, and how she read him that book in order to understand. And everyone has a book when they read when they're younger that really helps puts things in perspective for them. How about you, David? Do you have a favorite book when you were younger that you used to read and find somewhat solace or comfort or adventure or escapism from?
I didn't really read that many books. I rather watch Star Wars.
Well, see, now that's pretty cool. I agree. My fond memories of seeing that in the theater back when people used to smoke in the theater. Shut up. Don't talk about age. But that's the way it was. What was your favorite part on that? Was it the adventure or was it the storyline?
Well, in Star Wars, it was basically a science fiction of basically knights and wizards, if you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
If you think.
Yep.
Because Jedi are kind of like knights, but they also have the Jedi powers. I used to watch all the science fiction. That science fiction was my escape.
I agree. It was the same for me. I used to be a voracious reader, and when they finally started hitting the movies, because they weren't really a lot of science fiction back then. They had them, but it wasn't. You had like Buck Rodgers and the old movies when you could, but back.
Hey, Buck.
BeeDeeBeeDeeBeeDee.
Unfortunately, I'm old enough to when I watch Buck Rodgers, they had a line that you can actually see the friggin' spaceship on a wire. But yeah, Star Wars blew my mind. It really did.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I must have seen that about 12 times back then. I kept trying to go see it. And I agree. So everyone finds a little bit of that. And I can see with Spock in the cave trying to ground himself, saying stuff over and over and over again to try to hold on to a thread of reality. That was pretty cool.
And just to let you guys know, Heather dropped off. Her internet crapped out. And looks like she may have just reconnected.
Hey, sorry about that. My internet dropped and I had to reset my modem.
That was pretty quick.
No problem. You were fast.
Oh, good. What did I miss?
Everything.
Oh, we just started talking about Star Wars.
Oh, really?
No, that's okay. So we're
Baby
good
Yoda
on that.
Baby Yoda. Okay.
Yes, Baby Yoda.
Are we still talking about Alice in Wonderland?
Cool. Who did the Yoda voice?
Not me.
It was I. Yes, indeed.
Is that Patrick?
Cool. No, that's not me.
No, that's David.
Yoda.
Oh, wow. That's good, Dave.
He's on the ship. Look at that. You should have gave him the coffee. I would have loved to hear Yoda. Fucked up I am. Yes.
No, I was like, tea. Tea is good.
Many colors I see.
Whoa,
pretty cool.
pretty rainbow, Yoda.
That's cool. And then on the Discovery, when Georgio was on the ship, I have to admire Michelle Yeoh because her facial expressions, if you watch her, gives so much away if you really watch her face. You know, when nobody's looking at her and she's trying to clue in to someone else what she's thinking.
And she always has ulterior motives for what she does. So like when she tells Michael that, you know, Leland is not going to extract Spock's memories, he's going to scramble his brain. She's only doing that because she knows it to help Michael get Spock out of there because it'll make Leland look bad, which is, you know.
I absolutely love that she has got stuff on Leland like that. I just,
right?
Oh, she is running stuff.
Yeah,
that he was
I love
responsible
that.
for killing Michael's parents. I mean, hello.
She's like, I'm calling the shots. You're doing what I'm telling you.
The library is open. He got read.
But I worry about Section 31 because that's the way they're running stuff. Everybody's got something on somebody else. It's like, oh my God, so many secrets. And then I think about all the things I've said to Heather and just hope that she doesn't say anything with Section 31 about them.
Oh, shit. I wasn't supposed to say anything?
I mean, she talks in her sleep.
Yeah, they don't know anything.
Okay, good.
And we know that Section 31 lies because they lied to Michael what they was going to do to Spock. And so, yeah, we already know that you can't always trust what they're saying. So,
yeah. And then after the fight, when she goes and she saves Spock, she's shooting her own people. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope your gun is set to stun because you're shooting your own people.
It's like, stunning.
But at least he was able to get out of there. And then we see Pike and Tyler in the shuttle. And then you had the angry butt plug with tentacles that attacked him.
Yes, it was the ass probe.
Oh my God.
It seriously was.
It had
Tentacle
little
porn.
things flipping out of it. Oh man, yeah, that was some freaky probe stuff.
That was totally tentacle porn.
They were having a whose dick is bigger contest the whole
Yes, they were.
shuttle ride.
They kept reaching for that button. I'm like, I want that button. Oh no, I'm doing that. Yeah, that was some tension right there between those guys.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So what class probe would that be?
Dirty class.
It was an ANAL class.
Mark III?
Really. It had lights and everything on it.
It probably vibrated.
It kind of looked like somebody designed a Christmas ornament. It had a butt plug that had tentacles to make sure that it really inserted itself properly.
Yes.
Well, it penetrated Ariam in the end.
Oh, poor Ariam. Oh, man. Oh, poor Ariam.
It inserted its seed into her.
Right through her eye.
When you get it in the eye, it burns.
Yeah, you can see it was red. It was burning red.
It was a facial.
Oh, man.
She was keeping her eye on it.
Yeah, she was.
She definitely was. Oh my God. Everybody knows you don't like to get hit in the eye. That was really so.
Especially with not when the probe that came 500 years back in the future and hit you in the eye. I mean, who knows what kind of diseases they have in the future?
Yeah, you just can't tell. It hasn't been invented yet.
It was looking for any hole to insert.
No, and everybody knows that androids are always prone to viruses. That's why people go with iPhones.
Oh, that was a slam on Android people.
Yeah, or their phones.
I know we're going to get angry.
Oh, poor Data.
I'm an Android person.
Are you talking about Data now?
We're going to get data. Seriously.
We're sorry, Data.
At least Android has free data. Yeah, like data.
So when Ariam had those 3 dots go into her eye, basically it was doing a Wi-Fi malware upload right there.
Right?
Yeah. It was. She needed to upgrade her filter, so I don't know why she should have had Norton's or Malware or something installed.
That's what happens. You get surprised like that. Next thing you know.
Boom, right in the eye.
Right in the
you
eye.
can't do anything about it.
That's what happens when you have 500 years of upgrades that you missed.
I would have loved it if she would have screamed right afterwards, warn me first.
And who didn't love Tilly's enthusiasm? Like,
Yes.
that was freaking amazing. And what the frick?
Yeah,
know,
it's
yeah.
so freaking cool. You put time in front of anything and it sounds so cool. And then she comes back and she's like, it's a time tsunami. That's not as cool as it sounds.
I just she got really excited over violations of causality. That's the kind of thing that gets you going, man. That's cool.
But the best line is when Stamets gets over there and he goes, don't worry about it. I'm here 10 minutes from now.
Yep.
That was one hell of a sequence. All the time blip stuff was really, really cool. But I was sitting there thinking about it. It's like, it's like you just had the orgasm and then you're having dinner with the person that you haven't met yet. What?
Yeah.
I think they're talking about your Android, David.
Android, no Android here.
When they did the spatial temporal thing and he saw his future self shooting Ash, at least we could be thankful he saw that and he didn't see the tentacles and the butt plug and the anal rape and all that, because I think he would have been way more scared if he saw that.
Or eager.
Or eager.
I mean,
Wow.
You never know. You never know. But I was going to say, I liked when Stamets is on the transporter pad and he tells Tilly, just trust the math and just trust yourself. Because she's like freaking out that, she's going to like zap him into oblivion. But he's just like, I know you can do this. And just take a chill pill, trust the math, trust yourself. Boom, you're good.
Yeah. And that's why they say that math is a universal language, because that's the one thing that's constant is the math. And if you can understand that and get a grip on that, you can possibly almost speak to anybody, depending upon if you learn what their base formula is. Just like I believe they had a base 60 on the accounting system, which is why we have 60 seconds in a minute and 60 hours. It was a base, and we're based off of base 10. So it really is interesting how math will take a hold of something and you can understand that. And it was pretty cool.
Unless you're an android that gets hacked by the math.
Right?
Yeah, then you get 3.
Yeah.
3 in the eye.
Oh, boy. What about the numbers that Spock kept chanting? And it just turned out it was the coordinates to Talos 4.
Yeah.
And it was just backwards. That was like, wait, it was just those coordinates backwards. I couldn't figure that out. It was like, oh.
I love how they used that. It's the mirror. He mirrored the words just like he was, like she was talking about before, how both kids were on both sides of the looking glass.
Alice. Okay.
Yeah, just like Alice.
I didn't see that. That's cool.
Yeah,
okay. That's very cool.
And it's Talos 4 before the band.
Yep. And Spock is sending them there so that Michael can see what's inside his head, because he has no way of just telling her what's going on inside his head.
Can he do the Vulcan mind meld thing?
Yeah, but I think his mind is so jumbled at this point that it probably wouldn't make sense to Michael. So it's the Talosians who would be able to, give it some sequence.
Why couldn't Sarek do it when they were at the temple?
Imagine having a fully ordered mind that you think in logic, and then you expose yourself to a chaos storm. That wouldn't be a good idea, because then that could catch.
It was like Vulcans reading Alice in Wonderland.
He would go crazy.
Yeah, they couldn't quite crack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be a chance that he would probably go nuts. But this part of the show, towards the end part, I'm sure, David, would be your favorite part, because when Michael escaped with Spock, you know where they hid? In an asteroid.
Ooh.
I know, right? Is that Yoda or was that you?
Yoda like asteroids.
I thought that was so cool. She hung out. Chewie's there.
Chewie's there.
We got a whole gang. Chewie would make a great security officer, I'm telling you.
Whoa.
Put him in a red shirt and just let him wander the halls.
Him and Worf together would be unstoppable.
Oh, wow. Talk about a killer team.
They would only be unstoppable if he changed from the red shirt to the yellow shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Well, come on. Scotty was a red shirt and he never died.
Yeah, but all the alcohol he drank, I mean, that had something to do with it, right?
Yeah, he's also Scottish. I personally think he was a Highlander. So here's that. As long as they didn't take his head, he wasn't going anywhere.
There only can be one.
Yes. So I believe that's why he hung around. But I think that the last part of that, we had a chance to finally see Spock rocking his grizzled man beard, doing some pretty good artwork in stone in the wall.
And can I say meow?
The reason why you don't see Vulcans with facial hair is because I think when Vulcans grow out their facial hair, it causes them to be crazy, and that's what happened.
It makes them evil.
Well, that is for Cybok, because Cybok had one too.
He was rocking the facial hair.
Yeah, so I wonder if that's the case.
Was he crazy?
He was a little off kilter.
Cybok wasn't crazy. He was just a little off. He was just a little off base, thinking that he knew where God was. I mean,
he was a little disillusioned, but logically it didn't make any sense what he was doing.
But the non-Vulcan person had the most logical thought was, what does God need with a spaceship?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That should have been Cybok's thought.
I mean, that line right there, I mean, that's genius. I mean, what does God need with a spaceship? You know, if you're God, you don't need a spaceship.
Bring it closer.
Yes.
You're everywhere all the time.
And that sound effect they used for him to speak was a little creepy, you know. So, and it's like, wow, yeah, I don't like that.
God just wants a joyride in your starship. What's wrong with that? I like your starship. Let's go places.
It was definitely an interesting episode. I think that's the one that William Shatner directed as well.
If God ever asks you to get in your car and drive you somewhere, just stranger danger right there. You don't have to drive God around.
But I don't think that if you get pulled over in the carpool lane and they said that you need another person, you say God's in my passenger seat.
God is my co-pilot, right? Yeah. It doesn't work.
I think you'd still get the ticket.
Well, you would have 3 people in the car, right? You know, the Holy Spirit, the
Holy Trinity, yes.
I
know what you're talking about.
Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you.
There you
go. So there's 3 of them in there.
Now, this is something that I learned when I had a traffic ticket one time many years ago, and I had to go to traffic school for it. And they were asking about people who got tickets and how they got out of tickets before they were going into the instruction. And it was an attractive, big bosom woman that was in the room. And she said how she used to get out of tickets is that when they pulled her over, she had a Monopoly get out of jail free card.
I've heard that works.
And when the officer pulled her over, and hands her the card, that he would laugh and let her go.
I have one of those.
Yeah, and the instructor asked her, "This is how come you're in the class now?" And she kind of pursed her lips and said, "Because I was pulled over by a female officer this time."
That's how it happens.
It did work.
Damn equality, right?
So I thought that was kind of funny.
When a story on top of a story, when I was a casino dealer at downtown Las Vegas, I was dealing to a cop from somewhere else, and he had fun. He liked me and blah, blah, blah. So he gave me a tip, and the tip was a business card that was like a get out of jail free card. And he's like, if you're ever in this town and anything happens and they pull you over, give them this card. I'm like, no way. And I've never used it. I've had it in my wallet ever since. The thing is like torn up beyond repair, but I always thought it was so freaking cool, and I just kept it on me.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
I'm sending you guys a picture of it now, right through transmission. So you should have it here in a sec.
I forgot that.
Heather, that wasn't that picture.
Heather, you got to take a look at your phone. I think your Android's.
Did I send you guys the wrong picture?
Wow, I didn't know you could bend that way.
Don't look at that picture. I'm naked.
Very flexible, Heather.
Wow. Oh
okay.
Wrong picture.
Never knew you had a 6-pack.
Is that the unicorn you were talking about?
My eyes are burning like Ariam's. I got 3 in the eye.
I didn't know that you were so. Oh. Wow. Okay, I'm not going to be able to unsee that one. Alrighty then.
Shit.
Just one of the perks of being on a podcast.
Don't ever send your captain or your boss the wrong picture. It's not good.
Oh, gee, my knees. Wow.
On both of them. Wow.
Are you sure you sent? Because I never got it, Heather.
Even if you got it, you wouldn't get it. So
no, I wouldn't.
We'll leave it at that part. Since we're coming towards the tail end of our lovely thing, after that, I'm gonna have to take a cold shower. And oh crap, I forgot that was Heather's coffee, and I just took another sip.
You didn't drink it
Damn
all.
It.
Oh wow.
Okay, I forgot. I gotta replicate before this thing starts taking effect. Next week, in order to continue with our IDIC, we're going to be talking about our homework is going to be The Outcast. That's a Star Trek The Next Generation episode. For those of you that want to see it, it's season 5, episode 17. Okay, that's the one when Riker falls in love with Soren. It was a member of an androgynous race.
I was going to say, claiming one gender or another is considered sinful to them. So they've evolved beyond that. And we're doing this in recognition of Pride Month, number 1. And 2, the Supreme Court acknowledging that LGBTQ people cannot be fired from a job for being LGBTQ.
So that's going to be next week's homework. Then after that, the following week, we're back with Discovery. If you want to jump ahead with your homework, is going to be If Memory Serves. That's season 2, episode 8. Now, shorts.
What was the name of what was the episode?
If it's going to be If Memory Serves.
Yeah, what was the name of the episode?
Season 2, episode 8. If
Buffering.
I will never give him that coffee again, I promise.
Just breathe with me.
Okay.
Get centered.
Oh, look, a unicorn.
For a little bit of fun, for the following week is going to be The Escape Artist. We haven't done that one. That's the one featuring Harry Mudd, Rainn Wilson, and that's a very fun episode. So it's going to be, if you're looking at seasons, it's going to be the 4th one in the first season of the shorts. So it's The Escape Artist with Rainn Wilson as Fenton Hardcore Mudd, and The Outcast, which is going to be season 5, episode 17. When I was 17. Oh, damn it.
It was a very good year. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna come by your quarters, Captain.
It was a very good year.
Computer, replicate Antidote quickly. He's singing Sinatra.
I'm gonna take him to sick bay.
Yeah. So it was a good episode. David, thank you for letting me be myself. Okay. Thank you for coming on to the show and allowing us to we will try to memory wipe you so you don't become rich before you were supposed to become. Did I say that out loud again?
Where am I?
Damn it.
Who are you guys?
Yeah. Okay. Good. It's working. Choo. Beep beep. Choo. Good. Bad girls. Oh wait. Okay. All right, I got it. In the name of love.
Okay.
All right.
What's love got to do? Got to do with
all
that.
these hits for the low price of $19.95 plus shipping and handling.
Get your dribble free.
Yes.
Baby Yoda, do, baby.
Call now and get a free copy of Baby Yoda.
Yoda, it's good for you. Yes.
And if you act now, we will send you that picture of Heather. Not one picture, not 2 pictures, but 3 pictures of Heather.
Heather with Yoda. Act now.
I don't think this show's ever devolved this quickly.
No.
This is amazing.
It was the coffee. Well, for those of you that are out there, thank you for joining us again. You can contact us through mental telepathy.
Well, then you'd be out of luck, Captain.
I'm thinking about you right now.
Because you're mentally inept, so they wouldn't be able to contact you.
Somebody's thinking about me now because I get crotch tingles. Okay. Remember,
that
all
wasn't
of the
me.
ways to get a hold
I hope it wasn't Baby Yoda.
No, I don't think so.
There's going to be contact through our social stuff is going to be on the end of the show. You can look at the links. Contact us through email and
just don't drink the coffee.
Just don't drink the coffee. Please, everyone, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.